Have you heard the insane news that just broke from the Nobel Prize Committee? It's honestly hard to believe, but things are getting weirder and weirder in the political world, and this announcement is no exception. You're going to want to stay with me on this one, because it's got everyone talking, and for good reason.
You about Maria Corina Machado. I've had her on TV this week.
Yeah, she's a very nice person.
Okay, she won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yes.
When she accepted that Peace Prize, she dedicated it to you. She said to me this week, both on TV and radio, that she wants to give the Nobel Prize, her Nobel Peace Prize, to you for liberating her country. In 2023, she won over 92% of the vote to be the leader of the opposition. Maduro kept her off the ballot. Do you have any plans to meet with her? And would you accept the Nobel Prize she wants to hand to you?
Well, I understand she's coming in next week sometime. And I look forward to saying hello to her, and I've heard that she wants to do that. That would be a great honor. Mm-hmm. I did put out 8 wars, 8 and a quarter, because, you know, Thailand and Cambodia started going at it again. So
I'll put the list up
I give
if
a
you
quarter,
want.
so it's,
Yeah.
you put the list out, it's a hell of a list. But I've stopped 8 wars. And I think, it's been a major embarrassment to Norway. Now, I don't know what Norway has to do with it, but that's where the committee is located, a lot of Norwegian people. And it's been a very big embarrassment to the country of Norway, whether they have anything to do with it or not. I think they do. They say they don't. But, when you put out 8 wars, in theory, you should get one for each war, okay? Because some of these wars were going on for 30 years.
You may have seen the video clip where Donald Trump, in true fashion, makes a public statement about his demands. He's openly seeking a Nobel Peace Prize, but not in the way you'd expect. It's not a humble, "Oh, I'd be honored" kind of request. No, this is Trump, demanding what he feels entitled to. And in response, the Nobel Prize Committee had to do something unprecedented. For the first time in the history of the Nobel Prize, dating back over 100 years to 1901, they had to release an official statement. Can you guess what it said? Here's the crucial part, quote, "The Norwegian Nobel Committee and the Norwegian Nobel Institute receive a number of requests for comment regarding the permanence of a Nobel Peace Prize laureate status. The facts are clear and established. The Nobel Peace Prize is announced. It cannot be revoked, shared, or transferred to others. The decision is final and stands for all time." So why is this such a big deal? Well, for starters, it's not just about Trump making an empty demand. The Nobel Peace Prize is an award that holds massive prestige, and in this case, it looks like Trump is trying to treat it like a personal trophy, a shiny object he feels he deserves, no matter the cost. But here's where it gets even worse. Imagine being someone who would go so far as to push another leader to hand over the award. And that's exactly what Trump is trying to do. He's playing games with an entire nation's politics to get his hands on it. Doesn't that just seem pathetic? If Trump had even a single ounce of shame, he would realize that if you have to beg for an award, especially one as prestigious as the Nobel Peace Prize, it completely strips it of any meaning. Think about it. If you had to throw a tantrum as a grown adult, demanding an award, any award, and then finally got it because someone pitied you or was pressured into giving it to you, would you feel proud? Or would you feel deeply embarrassed, knowing it wasn't given for any real achievement, but because of your desperate tactics? But Trump? He doesn't care. He has zero shame, and that's exactly why he's going all in for the Nobel Peace Prize. Why? Because he's not capable of understanding what makes the award valuable in the first place. It's not about popularity, it's about making a real difference, something that Trump clearly doesn't get. So, he will do whatever it takes to get that prize. Even if it means making demands of Maria Corina Machado. And it looks like this could actually happen. He's pushing Machado to come to the US, with the implied promise of giving her the Nobel Peace Prize if she does.
Also have a young lady that received the Nobel Peace Prize. She's going to come in and pay her regards to our country, really, to me, but, I'm a representative of the country, nothing else. And she's coming in sometime next week, I think Tuesday or Wednesday.
Just think about that for a second. Trump is basically dangling the possibility of a Nobel Peace Prize in front of Machado, who's already been through enough political pressure, as it is. What does that say about Trump's motives? Does he care about peace? Or does he just want the title and recognition, no matter the cost? You can already guess what's going to happen next. Machado is probably going to come to the US and make a big public show of handing over the prize to Trump. And what does that mean for the Nobel Peace Prize? Absolutely nothing. It becomes just another political pawn in his desperate game. It'll be all for show, and Trump will act like he's achieved something monumental. But deep down, he will know it wasn't earned. And you know what the craziest part of all this is? Trump is fixated on something far more than just the Nobel Peace Prize. He's obsessed with one person, and that person is Barack Obama. You know, the one person that Trump can't ever be. Obama. And it's driving him crazy. Trump has everything you could possibly imagine: money, fame, power, the title of president. And still, there's one thing he can't stand. That's Obama's legacy. It eats him up. He will never be able to be Obama, no matter how hard he tries. The truth is, Obama's Nobel Peace Prize, awarded in 2009, will always be a reminder that Trump will never match the same global respect and admiration that Obama achieved.
Either people like Trump or don't like Trump. I settled 8 wars, big ones, some going on for 36 years, 32 years, 31 years, 28 years, 25 years. Some just getting ready to start, like India and Pakistan, where already 8 jets were shot out of the air. And I got it done in rapid order without nuclear weapons. I can't think of anybody in history that should get the Nobel Prize more than me. And I don't want to be bragging, but nobody else settled wars. Obama got the Nobel Prize. He had no idea why. He still has no idea. He walks around, he says, I got the Nobel Prize. Why did he get a Nobel Prize? He got it almost immediately upon attaining office, and he didn't do anything, and he was a bad president. So, I mean, you should get the Nobel Prize for every war you stopped. These were major wars. These were wars that nobody thought could be stopped. President Putin called me and he said about 2 of the wars that he's been trying to stop them for 10 years. He wasn't able to do it. He couldn't believe it. So in theory, you should get the Nobel Prize for every war you stopped. Every one of them was major. But I don't care about that. What I care about is saving lives. I've saved tens of millions of lives. You know, the Prime Minister of Pakistan came here and he made a very public statement. He said that President Trump saved minimum 10 million lives having to do with Pakistan and India. And that was going to be raging.
Have you seen how Trump has to bring up Obama at every opportunity? It's almost as if Obama lives rent-free in his head. Every move, every comment, every speech, Trump can't stop comparing himself to Obama. Why? Because deep down, he knows he'll never reach the same level of global admiration. He can't stand the fact that Obama is seen as a figure of peace, dignity, and intelligence, while he's left fighting for approval at any cost. So what does he do? He targets Obama. He tries to make a show of being better than Obama, and it's kind of pathetic to watch. But the real kicker in all of this is how Trump is leveraging international politics for his own gain. If you step back for a moment and think about what's going on in Venezuela, it's clear that Trump has no real interest in solving Venezuela's problems. He's only interested in using the situation to enhance his image. Venezuela's political instability. Just another tool in his toolbox to push for the Nobel Peace Prize. He has no plans for long-term solutions, just short-term media wins. And let's talk about what that means for the people of Venezuela, who've been suffering for years. Trump's likely just going to make promises and move on, using the country as a stepping stone to get something shiny for himself. That's the reality. If you want proof of this, look at how Trump is treating the entire situation as a bargaining chip. Just look at his rhetoric. When it comes to Venezuela, it's all about what he can gain, not what's best for the Venezuelan people.
Thank you so much. I have a question for you on Minneapolis, but on Venezuela and your meeting with Machado next week. If she gives you her Nobel Peace Prize, will that change your view about her running that country?
Well, I have to speak to her. I mean, I'm going to have to speak to her. She might be involved in some aspect of it. I will have to speak to her. I think it's very nice that she wants to come in, and that's what I understand the reason is, because Norway is very embarrassed by what took place.
And in case you missed it, Trump made another ridiculous statement recently. He literally said, if we don't take Greenland, we are going to have Russia or China as our next-door neighbor. Wait, what? He's seriously threatening to invade a sovereign country, a NATO ally, just to make sure the US is protected from Russia and China. This is the kind of rhetoric we are hearing from someone who claims he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. It's beyond absurd.
We don't want to have Russia there. We don't want to have China there. And by the way, we don't want Russia or China going to Greenland, which if we don't take Greenland, you're going to have Russia or China as your next door neighbor. That's not going to happen.
But let's take a moment to think about the broader implications of this mindset. Trump isn't just playing games with foreign policy, he's playing games with people's lives. Look at what's happening domestically right now. The US is reeling from a recent tragedy involving ICE agents, where an unarmed woman was shot and killed. So how does Trump respond? Trump posted on Truth Social, "I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing, and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe he is alive, but is now recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety, but the reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. They are just trying to do the job of making America safe. Can you believe this? Trump lies about the victim, lies about the ICE agent, and spins a whole narrative to justify a system of violence. And you know why? Because Trump knows that violence is a powerful political tool. He knows it stirs up fear, anger, and division, and that's exactly what he's willing to exploit. He has no interest in peace. He has no interest in truth. He just wants power, and if that means lying, distorting facts, and defending actions that lead to more violence, so be it. But a Nobel Peace Prize? How could someone like that ever be worthy of such an honor? So here we are, Trump chasing an award that he can never earn. He's willing to do anything to grab it, even if it means using the suffering of others to get there. What does that say about the true meaning of peace? And what does it say about how far we've fallen in this political circus? Before you go, if you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. Let's get the conversation going. What do you think about Trump's push for the Nobel Peace Prize? Is it a political move, or just desperation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for sticking with me through all of this. If you want more content that dives deep into these issues, make sure to subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming next.